Yeah, I'm ready to go. And again, just want to say thank you everyone for taking your time to join us this morning. I know that it's Sunday and you could be doing something else, or maybe it's your Sunday evening and you could be maybe going to bed early. But I can assure you that I think today's call is going to be very helpful in some way or the other. I do hope that maybe sharing some of my own stories and perhaps some of my struggles too, that you'll see and get more inspired and maybe have some epiphanies. So I can't wait to get started. Thank you.
Awesome. So I'm going to take a moment and just introduce Rene Liaw to everyone, especially for the ones who, because our company, people are joining us every single day. Some persons might not be aware of who Mr. Rene Liaw is. And I'm going to give a quick overview about him, and then we'll go into basically his journey of how he has started. Now, Mr. Rene Liaw is a graduate from the University of Toronto in software engineering and worked for IBM and TELUS and was earning $80,000 a year in salary. He was introduced by his sister and now the company's youngest millionaire, a lifestyle director who qualified for the luxury car program and drives a prepaid luxury car from the company, a $200,000 Tesla P90D. He has reached $100,000 a month in earnings, and more shockingly, with only 7,000 people. His team is now 24,000 people in over 130 countries around the world. He is happily married after proposing to his beautiful wife, Heidi, with a $47,000 Ferry Marsh 21-karat gold ring. That ring is now worth $80,000, ladies and gentlemen. He has two wonderful boys, Rex and Leon, and is able to travel the world with his family due to the opportunity that Opulence Global has afforded him. He's just finished building his $3 million home onto his $5 million home. What an amazing project for Mr. Rene Liaw. Ladies and gentlemen, I will leave some back and have Rene Liaw himself share with us his journey. So welcome, and thank you so much, Rene, for being here and being such a great inspiration for us and for me to have the chance to do this interview with you today. So I feel very blessed this Sunday morning. Thank you again.
No, yeah, I think I know who's feeling blessed, because it's great to be able to sometimes, kind of step away from all the daily tours and crazy meetings and just get a chance to have a nice little sort of a pep chat with our team. And again, thank you, Jusilla, for offering to be my host for today on this Sunday morning, as we mentioned before. So great to be here.
You're very welcome, Rene. While I saw the opportunity, I said, I have to make sure I get to, and this is why they would say, put up your goals, make your vision board. And I get to actually interview my mentor today. How many people can say that they get to do this in their lifetime, Rene? So this is why I said I couldn't keep saying, thank you as we go along. I'm going to continue to say that, so your ears might be burning.
Thank you.
You know what? Just take it and suck it up, because you deserve it all.
Thank you. Actually, it's been great, because even when I recall doing the interview with our CEO and my mentor, and that was about, what is MLM, compared to, other things out there. And, and that was a great video I got a chance to do with Ramin as well. So yeah, just so blessed to be here with all of you guys. And I can't wait to get this whole thing started and share with you guys just a bit more maybe of my life in the past too. So, but I think you had perhaps some questions you wanted to ask me. We were chatting beforehand. Yes. I'll let you just take it away, I guess, and go from there.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Just a bit of a heads up, I'm going to be calling later on, as we have guest lists here with Amarjeet, Sister Ifra, Henry, that might be able to make it on. He's listening right now, but I know he's playing we call it cricket, but he's playing some sort of ball game, Chinese ball game, and also Rico. So a bit of a heads up, and anyone else that would like to join in and add to what Rene would be sharing with us today, feel free to do so later on. So Rene, I'm gonna ask you to take us a little bit way back. Just share with us a little bit about, your childhood and how it was for you. And then we'll jump into, the other questions, because it's great for you to share with people that, as I keep saying, that are new here. Some of us know your story, some of us don't. And it would be great to know where you came from, where you're at, and where you're headed. So please share with us just a bit about your childhood and how it was for you growing up in Toronto.
Okay, no, definitely, definitely. So yeah, so I was born in Toronto. Grandparents from China, somewhere. I don't even really know where. But my dad was actually born in Malaysia, and my mom born in Cambodia. So you're not really Malaysian Cambodian because your grandparents are born from China. But I was born in Canada, so I'm like a Canadian, Chinese Canadian, I guess. And my parents basically had gone to Toronto to study university. And, back then they didn't really speak much English. So the only jobs they could find while they were going through university was basically washing dishes. Both my parents were just in the kitchen. Because you don't have to speak English, you just have to wash the dishes, right? You get paid. And yeah, so my dad went to Queen's University and my mom went to U of T. And yeah, so but my dad would end up becoming like a mainframe programmer, and my mom was basically working in the bank. And yeah, I don't know how she held on to her job for 30 years because sometimes when I would work part times in the bank, it's just amazing how my mom held on to her job for so long. I was like, what are you guys doing here? It's just kind of funny, I guess. But no, so but growing up, I really appreciated what my parents did for me. They worked really hard. They're like new immigrants to Canada. And saving was the name of the game. They were the kind of parents that saved every single dime. Never really ate out in restaurants. It was always about cooking at home. And I think the one thing that if you were to talk to my mom and ask her stories about, it was like all stories about how she saves money. How she went to the grocery store. And back then, when you want to buy like these pork ribs, it's what the meat department throws out, because back then no one really bought these things unless they're Chinese. She made soup with them, right? So she made all these jokes about how she used to get free, pork bone stuff, to make soups with. We didn't really often go out to eat much. I think the highlight of going out to a restaurant or the fancy restaurant for us was like Swiss Chalet, which is not really an expensive restaurant. But and just even shopping, like it's odd, but I still recall wearing my dad's leftover socks. I had underwear that never really fitted me properly. I think my dad's just trying to make me wear some of his underwear. So a lot of it was just saving, not living fancy, and yeah, so that was pretty much growing up. And at 16 I had to go find my first job because my parents, like, I wanted to go to university, but of course my parents didn't have enough money to pay for me, so I started working at Dominion, which is Metro. So Metro today, if you know what Dominion is, then you're probably slightly older than me or same age. But so Metro used to be called Dominion, and I still work as in the produce department. So I used to basically stock produce, and it was never fun. Just sometimes you're replacing apples, and you reach into the bottom of the apple pack, and literally your fingers go through the apples because one apple sat there for too long, got molded. So yeah, so I basically worked, all throughout my younger days. I always had a job, even in university. I still had to hold on to a job because I had to pay for my university tuition. And but I think seeing my parents grow up really tough, just not being able to live life to the fullest. We didn't go on that many holidays. And also, I guess my high school was a pretty bad high school, I'd say. Back given to today's standards, a lot of my classmates would bring like weapons, like literally like guns and knives to school. People were getting pregnant at the age of 16, asking for abortion money. Majority of my friends were selling ecstasy, marijuana. So I guess my wife today, Heidi, she always laughs because she's like, she had no idea how me and my sister grew up normal somehow, given though that kind of environment. I guess, my parents just did a good job with, teaching us as best that they could. So when I finally got into university, it was a big change, going from my high school to like a nice university like U of T, downtown campus. Somehow I managed to get into computer science, which is the program I want to be in because I like computer gaming. So I thought, oh, computer science must be the area for me. It turns out, of course, it's a lot different than just gaming. It's a lot of work. And I struggled. I actually struggled through university. Um, I recall my first year going to what's my first classroom, and the professor says to the whole entire class of like 300 students and says, basically half of you by next week would have dropped out from this course. And we're all like, why would we do that? We just paid for our tuition. And he says another like 30% of the 50% remaining won't pass the first big test because it's too hard. And we're all like laughing. And the professor says, you might be laughing, but that person beside you or even you might not be here. So it really woke us up. Long story short, I actually failed. I actually failed one of the computer classes because I guess my high school's computer education compared to other high schools was a lot lower standard. So anyway, long story short, I am having to take all these summer courses, work more part-time. So all through university was pretty much a struggle. At one point in time, I did end up going to Malaysia with my family. And I think this is what really started to build up the drive that I have today. And I think a lot of us on this call, you have this drive, like you're here for a reason. There's something driving you. It's different for all of us. A lot of times it can be monetary, like you just want to have a better life, nicer home. Maybe it could be, take care of your kids, your parents. But when I went to Malaysia, my dad went back because his parents weren't doing so well. So that one time, we were able to take everyone back together to Malaysia. And what happened was, my dad has 13 siblings, so it's a really big family. My grandfather owned like some farm in Malaysia, so the whole idea was to go into like the forest and basically stick these things into the trees and to get the sap out, whatever. And so what happened was I got a chance to meet my dad's youngest brother, and he was like a multi-millionaire. So for me to go from, I thought we lived in a good home in my street because my dad basically added on a section to the original home, so it looked bigger. So I thought we're doing well. And sometimes it's kind of like point of reference. But when I saw my uncle's house and the food that we ate, I mean, I love seafood, right? So like the lobster, the crab, the shrimp galore. I mean, it was like the biggest feast I've ever had. And we didn't do it once. We did it like every day, just feasting, and just living in this huge mansion. He had like 7 cars at that point in time, and one of them was my dream car, this Lexus SC430, like a sport convertible Lexus. And it was an amazing trip. I was really blessed to be on that trip and just got a chance to be treated so much. But what happened was, I started to ask questions, right? Like how come my dad has this regular life and we're always saving, 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 but my uncle is like just balling, right? And not just him. In fact, my aunt and most of my uncles and aunts, they're all pretty wealthy. And it turns out that they all had businesses. So I started asking questions. I was like, so what do you do for business? And what do you do for business? And one of them owns this special tourist location where if you ever go to Malaysia, you gotta go because it's an island in Kota Kinabalu. And what's famous there is these monkeys. So in like so you take this boat to go into this special island, and there's like 300 monkeys in one area. And basically there's only one male per like 200 something females, or it's like one male per 100 females. So, and the monkeys, the male monkey is special because they have a special colored differential. You can it's such a weird thing. But anyways, it's a really cool trip, and but that's where I just saw that because I used to make excuses, I guess. I used to always want to be rich. I think a lot of us here want to be wealthy, and I used to make excuses. I think I used to think like, they're wealthy because their parents are rich, or they're wealthy because they won the lottery, or they're wealthy because they have really high IQ, or they inherited the money. I always used to try, or they were lucky. That's why they have so much money. And I always used to make so much excuses, why I was not rich. If that makes sense. I think sometimes we try to justify the life that we have, and if we aren't willing to do something about that, we try to justify why we live our life. And that's what I was doing. I recall one night, speaking of like really high IQ people becoming millionaires, I actually looked it up. There's actually a research that documented all these millionaires, and they found out that like 90% of the self-made millionaires were not high IQ. They weren't super smart people. They were just average IQ, like average, IQ people. The fact that I failed one of my university exams, I felt pretty average. Actually, I felt below average because most people were passing, right? So, so that really shook me up. And I thought that, well, maybe they inherited it. And the research also showed that 90% of all millionaires were self-made, meaning they didn't inherit the money from the parents. So knowing that, I think combining all this stuff together, right? Knowing that you don't have to have a high IQ, become super smart to make millions of dollars. And of course, I had thought initially that maybe it's the genes, but again, my dad and his family are the same genes, right? It's the same parents, right? My poor grandma, 13 kids. Can you imagine, right? Every year and a half, you're just popping a baby out of your stomach. Anyway, I'm going off topic. But the same genes, yet again, my dad had the average. So I realized none of that matters. It's not the IQ. It's not the parents. It's not your genes. It's not, it all comes down to your own hard efforts. Are you willing to work? And I think, going through university, I usually took the bus. So it took me like a good walk to the bus stop, take like a good 15-minute bus, then a 45-minute subway, and maybe another streetcar. It's like an hour minimum for me to get to school every day. And God forbid you left something at home halfway on the train, yeah, go home and get it. But again, most of my friends had cars. They're driving their, not just like a car, like a Civic. It was like a BMW or a Mercedes, or like my friends' parents bought them cars. And again, I think just all this stuff kept building up, building up. I kept seeing wealth, kept thinking, why don't I have it? Why don't I have it? And so that was kind of like my childhood, pretty much. And so I was always, by the time university happened, there was one course I took. Of all the courses that I took, this one probably did the most for me. It was actually like an introductory business course, and the course made you think of your own business, and do a proposal. And if your business was good enough, then they actually had investors in the university that would actually pick your project and invest money into you. You would not believe the idea that I had. And back then, it didn't really work. It was online grocery deliveries. That was my idea, online grocery deliveries to your home. And my second idea that I gave to the group was home karaoke. I swear on my life, had I kept those two ideas and ran with it, oh my goodness, right? It's all about home karaoke and online groceries right now. Anyways, but that course really got me thinking about having my own business. And so that's pretty much my childhood, Drusilla, and kind of maybe puts a better perspective of me growing up. Yeah.
Wow, Rene, how incredible that is. You went from so many different areas of how you were brought up, your experience with school. A lot of people will use situations like that, as you just said, as maybe an excuse in life, if that's a appropriate word I should use, to say, well, I can't do better, I can't go farther just because I've been through all of this. Anyone looking at you today would not even think of that, would not even see that part of you. This is why we appreciate that you're getting into these details and mentioning that. So thank you so much for sharing that. What I know you went into, you growing up here, and you know how you've been to school and all of that. When you chose, by the way, Instacart, which could have been owned by
Yeah.
Liaw, because
Oh.
I use Instacart all the time. And to hear you say this, I was like, wow, really? This could have been your company?
You know what's
Started.
funny? It was a group project. All of my friends basically thought it was a joke. I was like, how is that? No, because back then everyone was buying groceries in the store. So I just wanted to add that sometimes, you'll have doubters. Even a school project, you're gonna have doubters, right? And not haters, but just doubters in my case. So yeah.
Absolutely. Wow. It's amazing when you put that together today to say, you had that thought and you didn't act on it. But you know what? You're here and you're in a better place, I'm sure. But it
Yeah.
just goes to show, when you have that idea, as you just said, just go with it no matter what somebody may say. So a little bit about your job, as what you were doing, as we mentioned before, with TELUS and IBM. What were you looking for besides that made you saw the opportunity to do it across over? And while you're answering that, I know you did say also it's your sister that was in Opulence Global
Mhm.
Community at the time, that
Yes.
you were actually coming to talk her out of it.
Oh
So
yeah.
if you can tell us a little bit of the job that you were in, the position we're in at the time, and what were your thoughts as your sister is showing you, hey, come and see this opportunity, it's going to be great. And here is you coming with that mindset to say, well, I don't think so, because you were basically set at a time, I think, in
Yeah.
basically the job mentality. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So just FYI, Monica, my sister, is really smart. Like we took the same program, and she got like a 4.0 GPA, meaning she had all 80s and above. Me, on the other hand, like a 2.7. I was barely getting by. So she was really smart, and that kind of ties into the story. So um, I started working at IBM for about 18 months, got really fed up because I felt like I was being treated like a dog. Um, Again, good company, but just always politics, right? Maybe you have a job and you've dealt with politics. So I wasn't happy still. So I ended up switching to another company called TELUS, which is one of Canada's largest cell phone providers. It's like Bell, TELUS, Rogers. So I went from junior programmer up to senior programmer in TELUS. And, I think, I don't know, like, I don't know how some people, maybe you really do love your job, but if you really love your job, would you do it if you weren't getting paid to do it? So if it didn't pay your bills, would you still do that job? And I think most people would say no. So for me, I really didn't like my job. I remember working, like every morning waking up, feeling tired, going through traffic, you know, like basically not happy, going to work, programming the whole day long. Um, you know, and I felt like every break or lunch I had was like a pity party. I don't know if you had that, if you go through that. Like, maybe I'm just weird, but I remember like I didn't like going out for lunches with colleagues because I just felt down. I'd rather go eat by myself and just like, I kept thinking, how can I get myself out of this? Like, do I take an MBA? Do I do a master's? Like, how do I move up in TELUS to make more money? Is that what I want to do? Should I do something else? So it just kept building up. And I think after 5 years of doing that routine, it was killing me. Like, I wanted to do anything else. I think, but the challenge that I had that perhaps a lot of other people have is you have a full-time job, right? And I think we all know that having a business is the only way to make really good wealth, right? Working in a job, you're always going to have an income cap, right? And there's taxes, and there's also politics. And I felt like there's so much politics in my programming job. Um, it was odd because in my whole entire floor of people, every single manager was not Caucasian, was not Chinese. They're mostly Indians for some reason. I'm not. So it just was what it was. And so I just felt like, okay, there's something funny is going on here, and it's gonna be hard for me to get that promotion. What I mean? So, anyways, I just knew it'd be too tough, and yeah, it's every day like going to work, not being happy, but so I knew having a business was the right way to go. But my challenge was like, I had all these ideas still, right? Another idea that I have, I should have did all these ideas when I was younger. My other idea, get this, was doing meal delivery to schools, right? And look at how many schools do it now, right? Oh my goodness. So I had all these ideas, but the challenge with having a good idea is, do you have the money to get it going, right? And even if you have the money to open a corporation, hire a legal team to do your trademarks, that itself can cost you like hundreds of thousands of dollars. So even if you have the money, well, if you don't have the money, where do you get the money, right? Now you go and find investors, right? And how do you find an investor that won't steal your idea? You'd have an NDA. Well, NDA, you better have lawyers to make a lawyer. So I didn't have the money to do that. But even if I had the money, I didn't have the time. I had a day job working, 8 in the morning when I wake up, 7:30, all the way till 6:30 p.m. I didn't have the time to go and do all this stuff. So I think a lot of us actually maybe have ideas, and we have, sometimes these like we're almost, we feel great idea, but we just can't find a way to get it done. So that's why when I finally came across this company, and it was my sister Monica. And so you understand, because really important, Monica was always a very conservative person. She was always the go get a job, work 9 to 5. She was like the ideal corporate employee. In fact, I actually ended up helping her get a job at IBM, and she rose up to the position of team leader. And she was the next level was like manager. So that's really hard to do at IBM. But one year she went on her honeymoon with, of course, her husband, which is Jamie. And someone gave them a book to read while they were on their honeymoon. And that book was called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That was the book. And, it's funny, like she left on that honeymoon as Monica, my sister. When she came back, like she was telling me she was like so excited to come back. She wanted to leave the trip earlier because she finally had an idea on how we can become rich. So she said, Rene, I need you to read this book. So of course I read that book, and I was like, wow, there's such a thing as residual income, like passive income, money that keeps coming in every single month. So we started to get into real estate, and we attended some real estate seminars. And so that was our first kind of successful business. Was we had a real estate company that you can invest money into. So we didn't have to use our money. We found the properties. We used our time to find the properties, analyze the properties, investors invest, and we split the profits. We ended up buying about 32 properties together with our investors over a short period of time. But the challenge though was, when you buy real estate, you have to wait at least a long time before you can cash out, right? The cash flow you make from the rent just covers the expenses. So we knew that, because our goal was, we want to quit our jobs. We want to quit our jobs. And with that real estate business, even though it was successful, it would not allow any of us to quit our jobs unless we bought, like, we actually did an estimation. We had to buy like 300 something properties. I was like, that's not going to happen. So so then of course, so my sister Monica, okay, her husband Jamie, younger sister named Christy, was taking a bus one day, and her neighbor on the bus approached her about a business opportunity that's called USANA. You might have heard of USANA before, right? And that was the first time that I had been shown MLM. And this is actually way back also in university. I tried it, quit, tried again, made some money. So at that point in time, I had already understood a little concept of network marketing or multi-level marketing. I loved it. I think that it makes sense, right? So anyways, by the time Monica, so we did the whole real estate business. We dabbled in USANA, but the challenge with USANA was the products for their health product was so darn expensive that majority of the people would actually stop their auto ship. Like they might buy the first month. I never even sold one of their health kits at retail price because the members pricing was already so expensive that everyone decided to join to buy at wholesale than buy at retail. But that means I made less money because when they joined, there was no sign-up bonuses, right? And now it takes a long time to build up that residual. So anyways, that went on. I hit goal director, but of the 30 people we had in the team, like 27 had quit by the time the first year was done. And then we got shown another business, which was a travel business that we also got involved with. Actually, that's where I met Nora. So Nora Basson, who's on the call, I met her in this travel business. And it was fun for the travels, but making money and building a team was just a pain in the butt. All these issues with ranks and, like, I still remember this one month, I was supposed to make $1,000 bonus check. Because if you had 10 people join in your team that month, you got $1,000 bonus if you were at this rank. Well, in that month, I had the rank and 10 people launched. But they run commissions like the start of the next month. By then, someone in my team had someone quit, so they lost their rank. And guess what? I lost my rank. Now, this doesn't happen in Opulence, by the way. So that's a good thing. So when I lost my rank, instead of getting $1,000, I got $100. I was like, what the heck? So of course, I called the company. And I said, well, no, I said, in that month, you even have the report, I was that rank. And long story short, the CEO at the time basically didn't award me my bonus. And that killed my drive in that company. I felt this is unfair. Like how did my team feel if that happened to them, right? And then because now I have a lower rank. So however, I'll still focus because I knew that maybe it takes time to build up these companies, right? But that's when Monica, so we were so focused in trying to make this work. Every Saturday on our weekends, we would, my uncle had a bubble tea shop. We would actually book the bubble tea shop in the morning when no one's there from 10 till 12 and do a presentation for that business. So, present the travel program. But that one morning, Jamie, who is Monica's husband, was approached by someone else. Now, this is a really important story because these people were the ones who introduced us to the business, right? And you gotta be wondering, where are they now? Does that make sense? Yeah, like if I'm here, where they should be here, they'd be making a killing, So anyways, they introduced my Jamie, but back then it was only jewelry. So when Jamie heard it was jewelry, he said, well, I'm not interested. Monica, which is my sister, Monica, why don't you go and help my friends look at this business? And Monica says, oh, okay, fine, I'll go, right? Because it's Jamie's friends. So that morning when we had the travel presentation, we said, Monica, you go to GWT, which is Opulence, formerly known as GWT, you go to Opulence's presentation. And so she went. She's supposed to be back to our meeting to help close up the meeting. She didn't come back to our meeting. We went home. She didn't get back home till like 5 p.m. that day. So she was gone for like 7 hours at GWT or Opulence, right? So I was like, what? So I had a bad feeling because like I was still focused in the travel. So she comes home, because we're living together at my parents' house at the point in time still, opens my door and says, hey, Rene. And the first thing I see is she's carrying this briefcase from Opulence. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, she joined the business. I'm like, we're already building the travel business and you joined this other business. And she says, Rene, you don't have to do it. I want to do it for myself, but so she tried to pitch me. So she sat on my bed. I was on my computer table. She starts trying to pitch me Opulence. And I was like, I was not for it. I didn't want to hear it. And I just said, Monica, if it's jewelry, I don't wear jewelry. I'm not interested in. But she said one thing. She said two things that changed my mind. She said, but Rene, in business, it's not what you like. It's what the majority of the population like. It's what the masses want. I was like, darn, you're right. I knew that I don't wear jewelry, but I knew that there's jewelry stores everywhere you go, right? So I knew jewelry sold. And there was no other company in network marketing or direct sales or MLM that was doing jewelry. So that was kind of unique. But I was still not having it until she said, well, Rene, can you do me a favor? And she goes, you're really smart and you're really good in numbers. Can you come and help me look at the compensation plan? I was like, I don't want to go, but you're my sister. I love you. For you, I will go on one condition. I said, I'll go to look at Opulence, which is GWT back then. So I'll go look at it on one condition, which is I don't want to hear a product presentation. I don't need to be sold on the jewelry. I know jewelry sells. I don't want to spend half an hour sitting for a product presentation. So she actually called Sanaz, because Sanaz, who's our senior vice president, was the one who presented the opportunity to my sister 14 years ago. October is actually the month that we joined in October. And so she arranged with Sanaz, don't go over the product presentation. So when I got there, older building, smaller building, green walls, they just moved in, not renovated yet. Had some watches in one like jewelry case, some jewelry, not much jewelry. They just got started. And again, I was negative, right? My mindset was, I'm going here to tell Monica why this is a bad company, why you should stop this, get your refund, and let's continue our travel business. That was my goal, right? So funny story though, when I got there, what happened was back then one of the executives made me a coffee. He said, do you want coffee? I said, yeah, I would love to have a coffee. I said, well, how do you like it? I said, well, I'll have some milk and sugar, one sugar. So when he made me a coffee, the first sip I took at this coffee, I almost spat it out. I thought the coffee had gone bad. Turns out they accidentally put salt in my coffee instead of sugar. Right? So, so again, I was already negative going in. And when they gave me a salty coffee, right? I was thinking, okay, this is a bad start. This is a really bad start, right? Anyways, I get another coffee, it's fine. And the presentation starts. And basically, after I saw the numbers, and we literally asked every single possible question we had. So we watched the presentation, we asked questions, they left, me, Monica, and Jamie huddled, put our brains together, like university, course, like project thing, had more questions. Ramin, our CEO, came into the meeting room. I met him. He answered all of our questions. He even taught me things I never heard of before in the industry. Then he left. We kept talking. And that one night we had a chance to become shareholders as well. That was earlier on. And we had pretty much, I could not deny, the one thing I could not deny was you can make a lot of money in this business. Like after analyzing different comp plans and comparing it to my previous ones, I was like, wow, paying on both legs to infinity, no capping, no overages. Like I was like, oh my, this plan, if you don't quit and you stay focused and consistent, you will hit the jackpot one day, right? And so just as about, and they ended ordering pizza because we're talking so much questions, strategizing, just, and I was about to order pizza, all of a sudden, just as I was about to sign up, all right, the papers and form, the lights go out. All the lights in the whole entire building go out. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, they didn't pay their bills. this company is in financial trouble. I was so negative. I thought that they didn't pay their bills, right? And so I secretly went to the window and peeked down the street to see if it was only their floor that had no lights, or was it the whole entire neighborhood? And indeed, the whole neighborhood had lost power. So that night, we ended up signing up. I opened my laptop from Telus because the light was really bright. We had our cell phones on, and we actually signed up that night on our cell phone light, on our laptop lights. And that was the night that would forever change my life, change our lives. And so, but what's funny is that going back a little bit, when Monica signed up first, the people who introduced her, I won't mention any names here, but you'd be wondering, where are they, right? My sister told them, look, I'm signing up. So either you'll be my sponsor or someone else will be my sponsor. So you have to decide. Because my sister said that, those people did actually sign up. But it's funny, right? Some people just aren't consistent. They're not focused. They get distracted by shiny things. Maybe they're in a down part of their business and they just jump ship. They're not here today. The people that sponsored us, that sponsored, like my sponsor basically, is no longer in this company. And so, I hope that is a good reminder that, you will have up and downs. I have my up and downs. We always have up and downs. Sometimes you want to quit, but again, as the saying goes, quitters never win and winners never quit. So that's kind of, I guess, the history of where things went. And, even though I joined, the funny thing is I was still a bit negative. I went home that night. I made a computer simulation to simulate if this model can actually be true. We sent the plan to one of our friends in the States. They ran a computer model to show that the model will not break. Like, how can this thing not overpay itself? I came back in a few days with a list of questions for Rene. And in that office, right by the walls, a small table, we sat there. He answered every single one of my questions. And yet, because for me, my challenge was I have this other business. I have all the people in my other business, right? The travel business, who trusted me to get involved with that travel business. How do I now tell those people to come over to this business, right? How do I shift them over? And so that was my dilemma. Of course, Ramin gave me some coaching on that. And the biggest thing that he said to me that really changed my mind, because I thought if I brought them into the travel business, then they're my responsibility. And he said, he said to me, well, Rene, he says, put yourself in those people's shoe, right? If you were brought into a company and your sponsor legitimately thought that they found a better opportunity or a better company, would you not at least want to know what it is? And my answer was, yeah, of course I would. If my sponsor sponsored me into the travel business and saw another business that they thought was worthy enough to get into, yeah, at least let me take a look. And so, and then he said a second thing. He said, well, he's also Rene. He says, imagine you don't tell any of your people, and 6 months from now, for example, you're making a lot of money. Because my idea was, let me make money first in this company before I talk to my previous people. So I can show them that I'm making money. I can show them that this actually works. And Ramin said, well, Rene, how would you feel if you had the chance to join your sponsor in the very beginning and make money together, but instead they waited 6 months to tell you, and now you missed that timing? How would you feel? I said, I wouldn't like that. So right away, I called back every single person that I personally, like, I didn't, what do you call it? Like, only the people I introduced to the travel business did I call back. If they introduced other people, that was up to them. Like, I didn't want to go poach into their team. Does that make sense? Because to me, that's like beyond my borders. But if I sponsor them into the travel business, I should show them this one. So I called all my friends back. Say, guys, you know what? I know you guys had trusted me and you got involved in the travel business, and I thank you for that. Monica showed me something, and I think it's way better. And I'm just here to tell you that I'm not here to ask you to join, but I think you should take a look at this and let yourself decide. Some people were like a bit upset that we had gotten involved in another company. Others didn't really care, but all of them came over and took to take a look at the presentation. To my surprise, every single person that we brought over, every single person also signed up with Opulence or GWT. I was surprised, you know, because I had thought like they wouldn't, they wouldn't get involved, but they all saw the same thing, right? So Nora, of course, Nora Bastian, who I met at the travel business, because Valerie, my sister-in-law, introduced her. We approached Nora too, and of course, and so I know Nora now for like more than 14 years. But long story, but that's how it all happened. So again, but my goal initially was to tell Monica why she should not get involved in this business, and thankfully, we got involved, because I wouldn't be here today. Yeah, Gisela.
Amazing story, Rene. Wow, you touched on so many different things there that most of us or all of us go through when it comes to situations, and the doubts that we have. And look where you are today, to the fact that what your intentions were and what the reality is today. So thank you so much for sharing that. Also, the fact that when you share, just step into somebody else's shoes, as what their CEO was telling you, if you don't share it now and you wait until, what would somebody else think? Because we always think that, okay, let's try it first, then share. So thank you so much for sharing that. And also, if you can tell us a bit, like, how long did it took you to leave your job when it comes to moving over full-time with Opulence Global?
Yeah, I think one of the things I did want to mention before this call is over, because time flies already, my goodness, is how much rejection I had to deal with. So despite that, right, I think in my career within network marketing, one piece of advice I want to give everyone is just learn to be okay with rejection. When someone says no, to me, it just means not now, not never, right? I've had people that have not got started 14 years ago that joined 10 years later. But I think the one thing that a lot of people, especially for the new people on the call, is just be okay with having a no. It's okay. We all get no's. I still get no's today. And we have to expect to get no's. And the sooner that you can handle rejection, and the sooner you can accept that rejection and accept that you will have people that will be negative around you, I think if you can learn to master that ability, nothing will stop you. Because really, I think most people stop either because they can't handle the no's and they feel like it's like a personal attack. It's not personal. Or they just can't handle, they have too much doubt in their mind. So and I mention that because I think for me, one of the biggest, and you heard it before, one of the people that I think rejection from strangers sometimes doesn't really matter, but when you're rejected from your own family, it means more. And because the same night that I signed up, I actually went back, and of course I was excited, and I told my dad. My mom was always supportive of what we wanted to do, but my dad was like, "Oh, Rene, you're an idiot. This is a scam. Get your money out." And my dad was always like that. He was the traditional, work a job for your whole entire life. And my dad was, I think, because of his upbringing, he was naturally like negative. He's a really sort of cranky attitude. Would yell at my mom sometimes. And by the way, this disclaimer, I love my dad. Like, I'm not saying I don't love my dad. I'm here who I am because of my dad. I think seeing how he grew up and seeing how he was, I think sometimes either you grow up wanting to be like your parents or you grow up not wanting to be like your parents, right? And for me, he became the role model that I didn't really want to become, you know. And so, so I just want to point that out because maybe you would think that after all these years, that so to answer just those question, within 14 months of doing this business part time, we had made enough money to replace our job income. So 14 months, I quit my job. But you can imagine, right? I was still living at my parents' home. Can you imagine going back to home to your dad and telling your dad that you quit your job, right? And he knew I had a good paying job. It was like 80,000 a year, all these perks and incentives, free cell phone, free home internet, because you were for TELUS, right? Uh, and he's like, Rene, why would you quit your job? It's a stable job. It's stable. And of course, we had our arguments back and forth. But I think my dad also knows that he can't really control me in the sense that once I decide something, I'm going to go and do it. Yeah. So 14 months quit my job. Bought our first home, our first semi, and then eventually bought another home in Taiwan. Came back, bought our first detached home, and I would have thought that by then, that after buying a few homes and having a Lexus, and then that my dad would be more positive. You know, no, same thing. Renee, your business is not stable. You never know what's going to happen. One day it's gonna die. Go get a job. She's still telling me to go get a job after all this time. Got my M5. It's like $130,000 BMW. It wasn't, I think, until we moved into this current home, it's like about $3 million home, that finally, he starts to like my posts on Facebook. That finally he doesn't say anything negative anymore. He's actually positive. And a big reason for that, I think, as you'll see on the call, is Jackie, who's my cousin. So Jackie Liaw, his dad is my Uncle Winston. Uncle Winston is the rich uncle I was talking about. And if you're wondering why they're on the call, is because while I was in Taiwan this past summer, we had gotten things registered in Malaysia, and I reapproached my uncle about the Fountain of Life. So my uncle actually took Fountain of Life in 2018, but I didn't know enough back then. I think he took too much right away, and he got dizzy. He had low blood pressure. Of course, 3 years later, I understand so much about the product. I said, Uncle, you know what? You took too much to begin with. Start with a lower dosage. Lo and behold, after about 2 weeks, his blood pressure started to go up. He had low blood pressure. It started to normalize for him. He's the one that did the before and after blood test. He's the one that did the actual antibody test. Do you guys see that? The antibody test. He had 2 vaccines. Did a test 3 months later for the COVID antibodies, was negative. So he didn't have the antibodies. Increased his FOL dosage. The same test 3 weeks later, he had 9 times the amount of COVID antibodies, a 900% growth of antibodies. So anyways, my uncle is actually our main investor in the Malaysian market. And so, of course, Jackie is his son, is a very smart guy. He's like me. He knows numbers so well. He's great at presenting as well, too. He's more of a natural than I am. But my point, though, is because my Uncle Winston got involved, and I think my dad is even more positive now, seeing his younger brother, the wealthiest one in the family, as part of the business. That's really, but it took 14 years to do this, right? It took 14 years to change my dad's mind, from what it was back then to all it is now, right? And for me to have my uncle become the investor and my cousin Jackie become investors, it means a lot to me, because it means that finally someone in my family, like my mom's side, most of our families don't even support me. Wouldn't even try the product. Have all these health issues, would not even try the product, right? So for me, Uncle Winston and Chef Jackie, they're the ones that for me supported me in the family, and that meant a lot, I guess, for me and for my dad too as well. Yeah, and I think the other thing that, because I know we're getting close to 1 hour mark, I think the biggest gratitude I have today, I shared this story. I was doing an interview with some new videos coming out, by the way, from the company, and they got me because I got a bit emotional in this interview. And I don't like being emotional in videos, that kind of stuff, but at the office, I guess it's quiet, it's a setting, I got a bit emotional. They have it on camera. I hope they didn't show this video. But anyways, they asked, one of my biggest gratitudes, of course, the houses, the cars, the lifestyle, the travel, that's all amazing for me. But I have to tell you guys, I think the biggest home run that I've experienced in this company, and because of all of the negative people that I've met, from the day I started in network marketing, all the haters I've gone through, all the doubters, all the friends that I thought were friends, I guess all of the hardships I've gone through in this business, all the downtimes where, I was stressed like no tomorrow. Um, One time I was I think it was at home, and we had friends over, and one of my friends asked my kids, or maybe it was on the cruise. It was on the cruise, the last cruise, Drusilla, and Maria was there too. Someone asked my kids, "So what do you guys want to be when you grow up? Right? What do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to do?" And because a few years ago I asked my kids the same question, and they said, I don't know, like doctor, or I don't know, like, the usual answers, right? Doctor, programmer, lawyer, astronaut, right? So I was expecting that kind of an answer. And my son says, like confidently, which really hit home to me, he goes, "I want to do what my dad does." So anyhow, not gonna do that again. That for me was like a massive home run, because I think it's not like I just had an easy business that made money. And I think because of all the hardships that I've gone through, and guys, there have been times when I wanted to quit. Like there's been many times where I thought, do I need to go and do something else? There's been many times where I thought, this is so hard, and or this is not fair, or it's not gonna happen for me. But I think because all that buildup accumulated, to have my son, which I love to the moon and back, both my sons, to have them say that, it was for me the biggest win that I've ever had, because I didn't really want to be like my dad. I love him, don't get me, like I really love my dad. We go golfing together, but I don't want to, he wasn't my role model. So for me to have my kids say that just meant it was all worth it. Of course, having a $5 million home moving into is great, and the travels and the private schools, but that for me just, so I want to encourage all of you guys, right? If that's why they always say, right, your why has to make you cry. And for me, my why, was to have children that I could take care of, generally, like the future generations, but to have them also, love me basically, and to have a comment like that, yeah, it just meant the world to me. So yeah, whoo, that's a tough one. Held it in. I held it in this time. I held it in this time. Yeah.
Thank you, Rene, for sharing that. I'm including myself, and I'm sure a lot of people on the call, you really did hit somewhere there for most of us, especially the ones that have children, right? We want our children to, look at us as role models. And it only took 14 years for your dad to, actually accept what you're doing, but it goes to show better late than never. And, you just never give up. So thank you for sharing that emotional story with us. I saw the energy, how it kind of went. We appreciate that. We appreciate you sharing that. I would just want to ask, for the persons that is looking at this today, the new partners we have or the guests on the call, how would you say, or some persons that might be in another company, but is still looking at this opportunity today, how would you compare, Opulence Global with other businesses out there?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. And I think this past pandemic uh, is like the test. It's the proof. It's the test. And here's why. I know Maria, Drusilla, Nora, all these people on the call. Usually in the past, we get approached, right, by other companies. Like I remember in the past, every week I had some new health company, some new juice, or some new something, some new travel thing approaching me about joining their bit, about seeing their business, right? And it was like every week, nonstop. And you know how we used to book those meetings at the Sheraton, and you always had some other MLM companies booking hotel rooms too, right? Interestingly, ever since pre-pandemic, especially during the pandemic, I have not had, I rarely run into other MLM companies because majority of them are gone. Like they haven't survived. And I think you all feel the same thing, right? Like you guys know who's around you, right? And what I realized was that in the pandemic, like you have to have the right company in so many areas, from having products, like, for us, the fact that Fountain of Life is the most affordable, most effective product on this planet. If you had anyone else, another company that's spending more money on their health product and you show them FOL, they're already on FOL because it's cheaper, it does more things, right? And beyond that though, most companies, because they have expensive products and they weren't, and this is where you really have to understand, guys, what Ramin and Sanaz did to get us through the pandemic, to make sure the shipping lines were open. I mean, they're geniuses. Because, for example, do you guys ever wonder why we have fairy masks? Like, our fairy mask, right? So you're probably thinking, oh yeah, it's good to have a mask because everyone's wearing a mask. That's what I thought, right? Did you realize that when your company, so many other companies, when the pandemic came, if you weren't classified as an essential service, your shipments of products were stuck at the dock. Nothing was moving. Only essential services, like need products for the pandemic, were being shipped. So if you sold a mask, guess what? Your products get out from the container, like 300 containers, yours comes out first. So if you connect the dots, right? Yeah, we want to have a mask, but if it wasn't for Ramin's quick thinking on getting the mask out, none of us would have gotten our products. So we got classified as an essential service company, right? So it's things like that, and ensuring you have shipping lines. Ramin heavily subsidized all the shipping costs. So my whole point though is like, you really have to have the right company, the right leadership, the ownership, the right products, the right systems. We immediately went on to doing daily Zoom tours, right? If you didn't move like right away into daily online meetings, you got left behind. So long story short, I know so many companies where they're out of business. Imagine you have a team of 30,000 people in a country, and all of a sudden you can't get product. All the product into that country gets stopped. Your whole entire team's going to die, right? It's going to die out. So, for those who are looking at Opulence, we actually grew over 800% during the pandemic. Our IT team got doubled in size from 3 programmers to 6 programmers, even more now. Our graphics team got doubled in size. We hired a special video graphics person. So we have like media graphics, like flyers and brochures. We have a video graphics person, and you've been seeing those videos online, right? Another company that we've been talking to, that there's gonna be a huge movement happening soon. They were sharing with us that they wish they had the marketing team that we had. like we don't even have to make our own marketing tools. The company designs it for us. We simply have to like, comment, and share, right? So, for those of you looking, at this for the first time, Opulence Global is definitely the company that has done the best, the most well during the pandemic timeframe. And we've grown when every company has actually got hurt during sales. We're growing constantly. We're opening up new markets. We literally have right now about 11 different countries that we're going through actual registrations through right now. So, to me, if you ask me, I've been here for 14 years in the company. It feels like we're just getting started. Like 99% of the population of the world has not heard of Fountain of Life. Our new Fairy Sterling, this product is amazing. And folks, you guys have no idea. I heard a little bit from our shareholders meeting, and so did Nora, but you have no idea what's coming. Like you won't even guess. Like it's so far out there. But all I can say is hang tight, because this next year is going to be an insane year for us. I'm talking about things that will drop your jaw to the ground when you hear about what's coming. And so stay tuned, guys. Again, I want to say a special thank you for all of you for being with me here today, and of course, Drusilla, for being my host. And I'd love to hear from a few other people, perhaps. Yeah, thank you, Drusilla.
Thank you so much, Rene, for sharing that and for putting that excitement in us today. Now we're super excited to find out what's coming next. Rene, I have one more question for you before we take some, other guests on. What are your thoughts on the digital companies that's pretending to be MLM? Yeah,
so of course, I think like many of the other leaders here, like Ronan as well too, we get really, I get really upset when I see these other, sort of digital, what crypto, whatever it is, companies trying to be like MLM, because we know what that's doing to the industry is it's actually ruining the industry, right? Sometimes people don't differentiate a scam from an actual business, right? MLM is a method of distribution. And we sell products, right? It's a method of selling products. So it really pisses me off. Like it really bothers me when I see so many of these companies out there that are basically stealing people's money. Every week on the news, I see this guy gets arrested for $38 million of a Ponzi scheme through crypto coins, right? Or so if you're on this call, just understand that globally, legally, it is illegal to have multi-level marketing or network marketing with cryptocurrency or forex, any kind of an actual a dollar or coin. And the reason why is this, right? When you make a product like this water bottle, you have the manufacturing cost, and then you have the wholesaler's cost, and you have the retail cost. So you can mark it up, right? There's a markup. When it comes to currency, you can't mark up the currency, right? Today's Canadian dollar is today's Canadian dollar. I can't say my dollar is wholesale, your dollar is 20% on top. So these companies are out there trying to, and so what's happening is because crypto, there's some buzz going around there where people are getting rich off crypto or NFTs or all these things here. And so the scammers are smart. They try to combine what's kind of new in the marketplace and what's the buzzword into a Ponzi scheme where you give them money thinking you're actually investing, but it's just a scam. Just understand that it is illegal 100 million% to do any kind of, like, you can buy crypto, you can buy forex, but you cannot make money in promoting or selling those things. So just be very careful. And it bothers me because I hate seeing people, I've been scammed. I've lost my money before too. And I hate to see other people get scammed as well. So hope that helps, Drusilla.
That really does help, Rene. Thank you for clarifying that for, a lot of persons on the call right now. I'm sure we're not aware of that. And, you bring a lot of clarity to that. So thank you so much. It's been amazing how time flies when you're having fun. I'm sure for all of us, we've been really enjoying your journey, Rene. And at this time, I would like to call on a few people. And we'll start with Ms. Emergy to share with us a little bit about your story, starting the business, linking with you, just something 2-3 minutes of if you can join us and share. Go ahead, my dear.
Hi, Emoji.
Hello, hello, hello. Good morning to you.
Well, good evening. 11:15 p.m. for you. Thank you for being up on the call still.
No worries. Your story always inspire me because of your story and what you have done and what you have supported. Oh my God, it's amazing, amazing. You're an amazing leader, always there to support us. And like I say, when I first saw you, I didn't want to meet up with you. And then things changed when I first saw you. Like um, you inspired me, like as a guy doing fashion, like you are sharing your story. But I don't wear fashion. Then like for me, like he's a guy and he's doing fashion and he's doing so well. What's wrong with me as a lady? So
That's funny.
so yes, yep. Thank you so much, Rene. Your story always inspire us. It's always good listening to it over and over again. Right? I never get tired listening to your story,
Thank
and
you.
also for your support. Like I'm very grateful. When I was just started in Singapore with few people in hand, and you still fly all the way to Singapore to support me, to have my small group of people that who was just joined. So your support never stop. That's one thing I'm very very grateful, and you had I think had the trust in me maybe
Yes,
that
of course.
we will grow. Yeah. So yep, I will say thank you again, once again. Thank you very much. And until today, that I'm very, very grateful for where I am today too, because of you, for your support that you has given, as well as definitely for the corporate. Yeah, and you never stop supporting us.
Well, let me just say this again. But you are welcome, Amaji. But again, I think with all the leaders on that call here, it's your own hard effort. It's your own hard work. You guys, Amaji, we all know how hard you work in the business, just like all of our other leaders. And it's because of yourself that you have your success. And again, when you keep feeding me all that yummy laksa and Hokkien mee and Singapore food, it keeps me coming back. So I can't help it.
Yes, thank you, thank you. Well, thank
Thank
you again.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amarjit, for sharing. And we can take Rico. Welcome,
Rico was like, when I first met Rico, I was like, this guy is like one of the most talented presenters I have ever seen. And he's like my role model. I was like, I gotta be like this guy. Hey, Rico.
Rene. Hi,
Hi, good
Christina,
evening.
and of course, can you hear me? Am I coming okay?
Yes, kind of. I think it should be okay now.
Yeah. Actually, Rene, I'm always inspired to hear your story. Your birthday is coming up. Happy birthday to you, Rene.
Thank
But
you.
more importantly, the first time I met you when you came here into the Philippines, is I see a embodiment of what Opulence is all about. And hearing that story coming from being negative at first, and then eventually seeing the benefits, that's what I experienced when I come to hear about Opulence. I was negative at first. I haven't I couldn't think of how a fashion company can become a an avenue for us to, of course, build and grow our business.
Mm-hmm.
But here you are when you came here, and then when we take a look upon all the things that Opulence Global has, as we dig deeper, we come to like it more and more. And there's actually a lot of things that can be when you take a look deeper into this opportunity, you can see how amazing this was set up, the platform, the products, the compensation plan. And as we learn more and more about this opportunity, the more that we want to share it with other people, because I've never seen this kind of opportunity, not to mention the amazing products that we have. And I just love your story of how you were able to grow over the years. And especially when you mentioned about, your kids um, being inspired by you.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
that's the most important thing for me. When your kids are inspired of what you do, helping people, and you basically did that, particularly in our team, how you supported our group, how you teach us, mentor us, and this is one of the things that I love about this opportunity is that it's a clear embodiment of the culture of the teamwork makes the dream work. So, for those of you who are new here, you're not alone. You will have a group of people who will support you all the way, just like what we are doing right now. And again, thank you so much, Rene, for that wonderful sharing of your story. I'm truly inspired by it, and it makes us want to do more and more inspiring and helping people achieve whatever they want in life. So, thank you so much, Rene, and thank you so much for that wonderful story.
Oh, thank you, Rico. Thank you so much for what you do as well. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Rico, for joining in. And I would like to call right now upon our next top leader, Mr. Ronan Triffin. Please go ahead and take the mic.
Oh, thank you, Ronan and Rico, for being up so late. I know it's late for you guys, so thank you for staying up.
Don't want to miss this, Rene.
Thank you. Hey, Ronan. Oh, Ronan.
You're still muted, Ronan.
1, 2, 1, 2.
There we go. Yeah, now we can hear you.
The MLM industry is the only industry that is being destroyed by the same people it is trying to help. I choose to start this way because your story is a great inspiration, but for most people that have not been in this industry for 20, 30 years, they would not be aware how rare it is to be able to have a top income earner. And I'm not sure if Rene and Reza are number one and number two, they're probably having their own competition. But it is rare in every company I've ever been for the last 25 years. The top earners, when they talk to you, they literally walk on the stages like they have a God complex. They literally come there and they're all shiny and it's like it's about them. And yes, they want to inspire. But in reality, to be able to listen to a top leader tell a story, such individual, such as Rene, is very, very rare to find in our industry. I've known Rene for 7 years. I've never once heard him upset, not once. I've never once heard him curse. I've never once saw him lose his cool, not once. So he has been a role model for someone like me that is very extreme. I'm a Gemini. I'm very, emotional. As I say, I'm a drama queen. And I've always known that, and this is something I'll share with all of you, the more we can balance ourselves towards Rene's personality's attributes, and it doesn't mean we need to be Rene, we just need to be inspired and remember every time that I am upset about something, the first thing that comes to mind is, how would Rene behave now, Ronan? How would he set like you? Would he change his intonation, or would he be cool? Understanding that the wiser is the one that's not impacted. And if there's one thing, Rene doesn't know that, but I've learned a lot from him in the last 7 years. One of that is attributes towards kids, our own kids sometimes. And one thing I've learned almost on my second or third year, when Rene came to Australia, and I saw him, and that's something he doesn't know, so he's curious to know too.
Yeah.
I saw him there with some of the kids around, and I've learned one thing, the second our kids managed to get a reaction out of us, we lost. They win. And that is something I've learned by watching you. And I think it is the same with potential partners, potential prospects, potential friends, our family. If we know to stop making dramas, to stop taking every little thing and making a big deal out of it, we will learn how to not fail ourselves, because each and every one of us is failing ourselves every day. When we don't get the response we want, we fail. We think it's something to do with us. It is not. I call it adopt a Rene Liaw mentality and attributes, and you will see how people will be magnetized to you all the time. And our business is not about selling something. It's literally about being able to be there for other people to be exposed to something. So if we are affected emotionally every time somebody sees and they're not like us, they react differently, we lose. So I want to say a massive thank you to you, Rene, not just for today, but for everything that you have been and done in Opulence. You are, in my opinion, one of the most stable core, and all of us can gather towards this core by improving our mindset. And I totally agree with Rene. Crypto, Forex, all this world that I call casino, it's what it is. It's a casino. It's not good. It's not bad. It's a casino. If you go to the casino, put your credit card at home, take $1,000, go and spend it, have some fun. Never spend more than 10% of your liquid cash on casinos, never mind how attractive they are, because casino means you will win, you will lose. There is no stability. Never for a second think that a casino can become a business unless you're the owner of the casino. Then it's a business. If you're a gambler, it's never a business. So what Rene said is so vital for everyone here. And truly, as he said, it's okay to buy Bitcoin. It's okay to be involved in Forex. It's not okay to recruit other people to that venture. Okay, so we have the world of recruitment, the world of casino. Enjoy the casino, be wary of it, but build yourself a stable business that is product-based, that will pay you every week, that will grow every week, and that, like Rene, you can leave to your kids and his grandkids, because as he said, we are not even started. Remember, this company is the #1 in the world, but the world doesn't yet know about it, which means it's our responsibility to truly make it what it truly is. And let me tell you what it truly is. For someone like me that started his history in the #1 company in the world, Amway, the American way, I can comfortably tell you, we are 100 times better on every attribute than Amway or any other company out there. The only reason we are not known for that is because we haven't yet started our job, which means this is now about to become the most profitable opportunity time-wise in history of e-commerce. Let people know. Back to you, Rene. Thank you very, very much.
No, thank you. I mean, I actually enjoy listening to all of your leadership cocktails because, you know, I love hearing your stories. And again, everyone here has so much amazing things in their minds, and that's why coming together, we're just a powerhouse Opulence Nation. So hey, thank you, Ronan, for that. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And we welcome my sister Ifra.
Oh, hey, Ifra. Wow. Still up.
Oh yeah, it's 6:30 p.m. here, Rene. Actually, it's a nice evening. Hello, hello, my sister Jeru. Wow, wow, wow. What an amazing, amazing leadership cocktail. I'm sitting here listening to it, loving it. I have to echo everything my brother Ronan said about you, Ronan, Rene. You know, it's amazing. When I got started, that was the first thing. When I had that first call with you, how humble you are, how relatable you are. I remember I hung up, you know, I ended the call and I said, I swear I can be like him. Like I can do what he does. I did not feel that you were superior to me because of how relatable you were and your teachings, your trainings. Like it's incredible. I've learned so much from you over the years. I remember you were the first YouTube that I actually subscribed to because you're always teaching about the conversation plan. I love numbers and everything. So thank you so much. You know, your story, your humble beginnings, you know, where you've been, where you are today is exactly something that anybody from anywhere in the world can do. So I wanted to come on here to really congratulate you for an amazing leadership call as always. I just got ready for our Somali call. A lot of our team is here as well. So I just wanted to say great work. Thank you. And thank you, my sister Drew. You were awesome as well. Take care, everyone.
I had to say that you guys keep thanking me, but it should be me thanking you guys for being here with us. Because again, it's like you each of you in your own have an amazing story, and you're such amazing hard workers. And that's why you have your success. And I can't wait till all of us can add another 0 to our incomes. So it's going to be an amazing time together. But thank you for all you guys for being here with us today. Thank you, Ifra.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Ifra. We have Stella.
Stella.
Hi, Rene.
Hi,
Good
Stella.
evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. I hope you can hear me, Drusilla.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All I just want to say is thank you so much, Rene. I remember the first time I met you in Canada. I was just about 3 months in the company, and you made me feel at home by just beckoning me to come and take a picture with you. I didn't really feel I was just looking around trying to capture the company and everything, and we were just running around like a little kid, making everybody feel at home. Come, let's take a picture. And then we all just came, the Nigerian team, we came and took a picture with you, but that is not the topic for today. I really want to thank you because, sometimes you are doing something, you are in this company and sometimes you get really, really down and you are like, should I continue doing this? Is this what I really have signed for? And all I needed to do was call you or send a message, are you available? And then your door is always open to encourage. Your door is always open to help out. You are like an open door that every person that needs help always walk into it and they come out refined. They come out different. You do not hold back. Everything that you do it out of love. You do not say, oh yeah, I am this youngest millionaire. Hold on, you cannot come near me. No. Even when we are having calls, you just pop up from nowhere. You are there just to encourage, just to see that we are doing the right thing. You do not hold back in everything that you do. I just want to thank you because you have been an inspiration. You might not know, but today I believe a lot of people have told you that. You encourage people, you want to hold everybody's hand to show them the way. And it doesn't matter how many zeros you've got on your income. You are there to encourage, to inspire, and to build. I just want to say thank you so much for all that you do. May God bless you. And we will all hold our hands and take this business to infinity. Thank you so much.
Oh, Stella, thank you so much. I know we spoke, I think it was like 2-3 days ago, and again, we're all humans here. Stella was going through a bit of a downtime, and of course, just one quick chat. And again, Stella has done so much for the company, really above and beyond. And all I want to say to everyone was the next time that you ever have that downtime where you're thinking, you know what, should I quit or should I stop? Maybe some of you guys don't have that. I know a lot of leaders don't have that anymore, but it still might happen to you, right? It happens to me when I was my first, 10 years with the company. And the one thing I want to remind you guys is whenever that does happen or you have doubts in your mind, just remember, right? It's the ones who keep going after that start to have the really big incomes. Because I believe that, to be able to have the lifestyle of the 1%. So not the 99% that have the average lives, but to get to the 1% lifestyle you want to have, you got to do what the other 99% won't do. And so every time you're at that down moment, just remember to yourself, 99% of the people at this moment, at this downtime, what will they do? They're going to quit. That means if you just keep on going past that downtime, you're on your way to becoming that 1%. And we don't know how many downtimes you'll be in. Maybe it'll be 1, maybe it'll be 2. I've had hundreds of downtimes. I just kept telling myself, you know what? Where others will quit and return back to the normal life, I'm going to keep on pursuing, keep on going, just keep on sharing, keep on sharing. So I hope that helps you guys as well too.
Thank you so much, Rene. Thank you.
Yeah, I guess it's all like numbers, right? If 99% quit and I don't quit, I'm gonna become that 1% one day. It's a good numbers stat, probability, right? So just have that in mind. So thank you again. I want to say thank you so much to all of our incredible people that were sharing. I'm not sure if there's anyone else that wants to share anything, but again,
Yes,
thank you so much.
We have Jackie Liaw. That would like
Oh, cousin Jackie, how's it going, man?
Hi, Rene.
Jackie, you're amazing. By the way, if you ever hear Jackie present, I mean, his first day of when his dad said we're gonna do this, he started asking like a billion comp plan questions, exactly like me. But he actually catches on even faster than I do. So yeah, watch out, I think, for what Jackie can do. Yeah, but Jackie, go ahead.
Yes,
Yeah.
brother.
For me, for me, what I think is, I don't know, maybe a Liaw family, people like us, maybe we have the blood to like to create some things, fight for some things. So like for myself, I think I quite similar like you. I don't really want to follow my father's shadow, like, or hide behind him in front of people's.
Oh,
That's why,
no,
yeah,
wow.
that's why all this while, even though my father called me back to the family business. Yes, I did, because the time it was economic crisis. I worked as a software engineer at the time. So I back home, and then I helped my father's on his business, and then we started to grow. So started from certain years ago back, I feel I didn't want to always stand behind him. So I started to diversify and venture in a lot of different business in different industries. And after that, I realized for my personality, I love to venture into different type of business. And MLM, before I came back to my family business, I joined Amway before. Yes, I did. I joined Amway before. But just after a while, then I quit because of my dad, because I need to come back full time for my family business, right? So I created a lot of businesses. I have more than 10 companies. They are
Wow.
all running, operating, and also investment companies. So, but when you approach back my dad about MM business, right? I also did some time to rethink about the business model of MLM, and also the business cultures. How is the way we do business in MLM is actually totally different compared to what I have done for so many for the past years. So people like us, we don't complain. We always learn every day. So people like me, of course, if you earn money, that is great, right? Uh, for me, I will feel even better, or even uh, proud of myself if I can be successful on something new. So that's why I feel I need to take a challenge. I also think that, hey, I had so many business partner with people that is not with my family members. Why not I do a partnership with my own family business, my relative.
Yes.
Some more, we can do the business internationally, and why not? That's why I feel very happy, and I also get a lot inspired by you. A lot of things that you teach me, it also can be applied to my other business also, actually.
Wow.
So I need to really say thank you to you. Yeah.
I know. I have to say, Jackie, that like for people on the call, I always looked up to Uncle Winston and Jackie. Like I could, like my Uncle Winston, like he has 4 kids. There's Jackie, Thompson, Samantha, and Crystal. There's 4 kids, and like they're all amazing people. Definitely with Jackie, I always saw him as like the brains, and I didn't even realize he had that many businesses, but I always actually look be inspired. So you actually inspired me when I was younger because I heard about the things that you were doing, and so it's I guess it's just very rewarding to hear you say those things. And I have no doubt, Jackie, that we're going to create a massive multi-million-dollar business for yourself. Another one of your businesses. But again, thanks for being here, Jackie. Yeah, we're just getting started. I know that you got to KL recently, and you have a shipment coming to you. But yeah. Great to be with family, man. I gotta tell you, it's been 14 years. Finally, I have one family.
Yeah. Let's work it out together.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank
This
you
is such a
all
cool
so
company.
much. Wow, that's absolutely amazing. Rene, you shared something there that you always looked up to your cousin Jackie of how amazing he is. And isn't it amazing that
Yeah.
you're running your business today?
I mean,
and
no,
work-
they had the lifestyle, right? They had the lifestyle. So for me, like Jackie was like, like a god, and my uncle was like a god to me. So it's interesting how we help each other, I guess, in that sense, right? Yeah.
Rene, I actually just saw, I was just looking on Facebook, I just saw a video, I think when you were in Australia and we were around the pool, and wasn't it Jackie there? There was
no,
another Liaw. There's an Aussie Liaw that you have.
Yeah, so I had two cousins, another Jackie. Oh, okay, he's Jack.
That's
There's-
Jack. Okay. I
Yeah.
remember, I don't know who has the screen share, but if you can unmute, if you can allow me to share my screen, I'll show you
yeah.
something that you will like.
How do we get Ronan to share his make
If you go to
co-host?
the share screen, it gives you the option of allowing others to share.
I think you're co-host now. Can you share now?
Let's see. Yep. Have a look at that.
Actually, funny story is Jack joined us when what's this photo here? Oh my goodness. Wow, yeah, that's the first day we landed. We had I think we had like a lunch together.
There he is.
Good morning. Welcome to Perth, Rene. Thank you for coming to
there's Jack.
breakfast. How was your flight?
It was wonderful. Just had a great time being here. It's training already at 9 in the morning.
No worries. We'll enjoy the morning.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. How are
Ronan,
you?
thank you so much for sharing this. Wow. So by the way, Jack, he got started when it was fashion. And believe it or not, we're actually talking to him again now because with Malaysia opening back up again now. So it's funny how, yeah, maybe if you get more family members in this together, Jackie, call Jack back together, get him re-enrolled again and renewed again. So thank you, Ronan, for that.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Yeah.
Right, what a call today. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you especially to, all
So I think Sarah was trying to say something before. Perhaps we can close with her.
All right, okay, wonderful. I'll unmute you.
Hello?
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Rene and everyone and Darcella and all of you. Thank you. Really, I don't want to something special to say, but what I like about Rene is, like whenever I have a new prosperity or something like this, it comes into my mind quickly that if I share with you, that person will join with me. It's something give me like, okay, whenever I'm telling, I can call the youngest millionaire in the company. It was like a motivation for me for your present. It really like it is. And I'm so sure the way you talk to them, the way you convince them, it's amazing. We got a gift, really. You are leading us. It's a gift for all of us, to be honest. So thank you.
No, you're welcome. And I had to say again, like, it's I think we make the Opulence Nation because we have so many amazing leaders with different stories that you'll find someone in the company that can relate to your prospects. So, if you meet someone that, is a mom with kids, again, Drusilla, Nora, different leaders are great. So I think the one thing that you want to do again, as a great training topic, is get to know the stories of the different leaders in our company. Because if you ever need someone to talk to your prospect that has the same kind of story, if it's like an engineer person, then Ronan, Jackie, myself, Rico, the numbers people, or even with Ifra, can talk to those prospects. So that's what I love about Opulence is we have so many amazing leaders that make us this Opulence Nation. So thank you, Sarah. Yeah.
Hi, Rene.
Oh, Maria again. Maria again. I see her every week. She's so consistent. But again, thank you for being on the call, Maria. Top PV.
Oh man, thank you so much. I wouldn't miss this to the world. Hello there, doing just an amazing job. Good morning, good afternoon to everyone who's on the call. We're so delighted. Rene. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't understand. He is, we call the core. Exactly how Ronan explained to Rene. Seriously, when I met Rene, even to this day, and it's a few years now, he has never changed. You see, this is one of the things where Ronan was talking about, where most people don't have it. As he mentioned earlier on, winners never quit. Quitters never win. And ever since I've met with Rene, he has never like upset or negative. He is always this fluent, positive. He look at things the bright way. He always come. He's we call it solution. He always find the solution. He makes you feel comfortable. He never will, okay, this and that. That's not in his vocabulary. It's just that's not in his DNA. And I always love you and adore you because it's not for what you have, but who you become. You has literally is a great inspiration to each and every one of you. The good news, I mean, Desela and I, we work together with you. So we become one big family, but I'll tell you, the qualities, the characteristic that you, to me, is humble beginning, is where you came from. And as you give your story about your dad, that would really inspire you to make you who you are today. You decide, you know what? I don't want to live my life that way. I want to be transformed. I want to become a better version of myself.
Yes.
And you did that. You are a great inspiration to each and everyone, especially to all the new people on the call. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the kind of quality of to stick it in that individual. And I try to maintain that kind of quality the same way too, regardless how much money you have, but it's who you are, is how you present yourself, is how you make someone feel. And that's what brings out the best in you. And I want to thank you so much for doing just an amazing job. You're a great inspiration. You're a great leader. You're a great mentor. Never change. Forward ever, one team, one dream, and to the billion. Thank you. Back to you, Rene. I had to share that.
No, you're welcome. And Maria, I have to say, like, you know, I actually, I don't know if you guys know this, but every single person I look at, you know, I'm always learning too. You know, one thing about Maria is I'm always trying to learn from her how to have that like enthusiastic voice. Like Maria, you all when she speaks, right, you just get lit up, right? And I actually try to simulate her and learn from her how to have that really, like, you know, inspirational kind of a voice. So you can always learn so many things from each other. And I do learn a lot as well from you know, Maria too. And oh, by the way, I did want to mention that I think that the reason why you mentioned having all these solutions and answers, right? It's because Opulence has those. Like, you know, I have the answers and all the good solutions because Opulence is that company. It has all the right pieces. You know, I've been in companies where I wasn't confident in a certain area of the comp plan. Then it becomes hard to give that answer to the team, right? So I also have to give, you know, massive thanks, of course, to our CEO, our SVP, for putting together this company that we have today, because it makes our lives easy, right? If you have a company that has issues, it makes your life hard. But if you have a company that has great comp plan, great products, affordable, it works, all the right pieces, they have an app, they have Opulence points, Opulence currency, like all these things, it actually, once you learn these things that we have in the company, it makes it easy for you to talk to your teams and to answer questions. So I gotta give it back to the company and of course our amazing team. And I gotta thank you, Maria.
You're welcome. I'd just like to leave this with you, and which I learned from Les Brown. He says, life is fight territory. Once we stop fighting for what we want, what we don't want automatically take over. I'll repeat, life is fight territory. Once you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want automatically take over. So that's what I'm saying, guys. You're in the right place at the right time with the right leaders. Just keep pushing forward. Never give up, never give in, because we have the tool to succeed. Back to you, Rene. Thank you so much for being on the call.
Actually, I remember that road trip we took one time, me, Drusilla, and you to, was it Ottawa?
Ottawa.
Yes.
I remember, like, we all enjoyed playing the, because you know, in my Tesla, we have that motivational speaker, like not podcast, but like the live radio. We're playing like Jim Rohn, we're playing like Les Brown. That was an amazing road trip. We got to do it again sometime. So
the best. Absolutely. I love it. We got to do it again. Thank you again. Keep up the excellent work. Thank you.
All right, just looking at it, I want to say a personal thank you to you as well for being my host again and doing a great job hosting and knowing how to ask the right questions. So thank you for being here today, and many thanks to you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rene. I really do appreciate it. And as I said, it's an absolute pleasure of mine. I get to work alongside with you. I wanted to just say something, but I see Donna Harper unmuted. Would you like to say something, my dear?
Oh, hey, Donna. I know Donna has a new partner launching on Monday because she's sending me a message about that. And she's pretty excited about her new So I'm gonna do an early congrats to your new LA joining on Monday, Donna.
Thank you very much. It's great listening to everyone. This is the most incredible company and products. We have everything, so we need to keep going. And thank you for always being there for us, Rene.
You're very welcome, Donna. And again, I have to say, like, you know, it's I think for me, what's really a great experience and feeling is when you see other people in the team like just evolving and evolving. Like I've seen most of you guys just constantly getting better and evolving. And for Donna Harper is one that I've seen nonstop evolve and change. Someone that was shy initially, that didn't really know how to do the tour or how to answer questions. Now she's doing her own tours, answering her own questions. You know, she's on social media posting, you know, doing live videos. I mean, Donna, I think you're just another shining example of how we can change if we just have the will to change and we put the work into it. So congrats to you, Donna. I mean, and keep up the great work. I love watching your videos and seeing your posts. So just amazing seeing someone like yourself go through so much evolution and changes. So congrats to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all so much. I wanted to add, Rene, that everyone got to share, most people got to share the story with you. And I'm not sure if you remember this, but so much this company is teaching you every single day. And it was before pandemic, we had a meeting at a head office. Around that time, I was feeling a bit clogged and wasn't sure where to take the next step. Should I stay? Should I go? What should I do? I know I wasn't going to go from Opulence Global, but I wasn't sure, like, what do I do? What's my next step? And Rene had just finished presenting that day on a Wednesday evening. And I'm not sure if you remember this, but I came to you and I said, Rene, I would like to shadow you. And you turned around and you said, okay. And I said, yeah, I would like to follow your footsteps. Is it okay that I shadow you? And you said, yes, of course. I said, reach out anytime.
I remember that.
You remember that?
I do.
And I did release to you that I said, I'm just in this point now where I'm feeling like I don't know what to do next. I don't know what's my next step. And, you know, we were told, find, you know, look for that person that you look up to, follow them. And I just want to share that with you because, you know, you're besides many persons on the call right now, partners, you're the one person I also look up to, respect you so much. And thank you so much for letting me shadow you, because I was able to move in, you know, in an upper direction from since then, right? I was able to grow so much in so many ways. And that is much thanks to you. I was able to reach out to you once you give me that comfort. And everybody is so right. I've never seen Rene upset. And trust me, in private, I have called Rene many times being upset. And Rene is just like cool as a cucumber, as we always say. He was just cool and calm. And he just put my mind to rest and said, okay, here is what you do, Drusilla. You know, it doesn't matter what the situation is. So you kept the calm and you always kept me so focused. And I want to thank you for that. Because of you, I was able to, you know, start presenting. I was able to, I remember people will say, you know, you're basically mimicking Rene, because I would study certain things, how you talk and what you say and how you do it. And I started doing that. So I want to thank you so much. And I'm glad that you remember that.
I do.
That
I remember that night as well too, and you came to me. I was out by the lounge area, with the coffee machine, and you asked me that. And I know the one thing that I have to say is, you know, guys, it's all about yourselves. You know, and Drusilla, like Donna, you know, you went from hosting to then doing the tours to getting really good at doing the tours. And I mean, you know, you do like 3-4 tours a week. I had a really busy week this last week, and usually I'm on it though. But again, it's just amazing, like for me and for all the other people to see each of us evolving and growing and changing. And if you're not, I want you to make a declaration to, you know, to evolve yourself, you know, to do more, to change, and to learn a new thing, or, you know, become a presenter, you know, set some new goals, because we're all here to help you. We all go through our downtimes. I recall that time, a few times Drusilla called me and she was going through a bad time. And again, just always remember, right? If you want to have the lifestyle of the 1%, you've got to be willing to push through and get through what the other 99% will not get through. They're gonna quit. You have to keep on going, keep on going. So again, my last personal thank you to all of you guys for being on the call today. It's been a great time. I didn't expect it to go for 2 hours. I thought an hour we'd be done. But again, thank you so much, everyone. And again, let's go to the billion. You have no idea what's coming up soon. Let's take advantage of the promotion before it ends, guys. 2022, my goodness, just keep pushing now, because whenever the things come out that's going to come out, it's going to send your check to add another zero. So that being said, thank you, Gisela, and thank you everyone else. Have a good morning. I have tennis lessons to bring my kids too. I can't be late, so I'll see you guys all soon. All right. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you so much, Rene, for all your time, all your respect, and your leadership. We thank you and we respect you, and sending all the love to you and your family. So take care and have yourself a wonderful and blessed day.
Okay. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great Sunday. Good evening.
Thank you everyone for being on the call. We'll see you all on the next leadership call next week. Stay tuned to see who's doing that one. Take care, everyone.
And thank you for all the comments. I've been reading all the comments. I want to respond. But again, thank you everyone for leaving your comments. I read every single comment, and it means a lot to me. Thank you so much. And of course, reach out anytime. Anytime. You have my WhatsApp. If you need to call me, call me. We'll talk to you all soon. Okay, bye, everyone.
Okay, bye, everyone. Thank you so much. To the billions. Amazing. Thank you so much for the comments also.
To the billion.
Take care, everyone.